Best of R / Tales from Retail episode 142. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. Gas stations attract the dumbest and rudest of people. Story 2. Broken Pump. This story, no matter how I look at it, makes me wonder how someone could be this dumb. Cast OP, me, DP, dumb person. I was starting my shift, so about 6 AM this day, and traffic is slow. I was just getting done with the 6 AM sanitation when, as I was putting the cleaning supplies away, a Hispanic woman in her mid-30s, DP, walks into the kiosk. DP, sir, pump 9 won't work. It's not pumping gas. OP, alright, I'll be out to take a look in a moment, ma'am. Usually people come in saying the pump won't work like this, and usually, they used their rewards card and forgot to check the tiny screen to see if it's asking if they would like to use their 10-cent discount on their fuel. This wasn't the case. I walk out to the pump, and I see DP's husband leaning against their car. I walk up to the pump, and this is where my brain goes how, just how. The gas was paid for. Screen read lift nozzle and begin fueling, but the nozzle wasn't in the car, it was still in the pump. I turn to DP, who looks like she's expecting me to do my magic. OP, ma'am, you need to take the nozzle and put it in your car for it to pump the gas. DP, oh, since when? That's amazing. Inside I was thinking how the fuck, just, how? I put the nozzle in her car, and gave her husband a nod and a smile as I started fueling, since I didn't feel safe leaving her to pump this. I could see from her husband's face that this wasn't the first time DP did this. Edit: I know this says story 2 but Reddit won't let me post the other stories without removing them right away. If you guys want to see them I'll link them down below. Thank you. Next. Mom, the store is on fire. I was working at a large chain store. This all conspired towards the end of my shift. Go figure. I was just taking some trash back to the dumpster when a customer stopped me to inquire about a smoky smell. I call my manager on a radio. Me, hey, boss, I've got a customer telling me they smell smoke. Fire alarm blares. That answered that. We escort guests out of the store and make sure all staff is out, with section leaders making sure all of their staff is out. What happened next is just plain stupid. Some Karen was flabbergasted that the manager of the registers wouldn't go in and ring out her groceries. Karen, hi, I have a cart full of groceries. Can I just check them out really fast? Manager, mom, the store is on fire. It's against company policy, not to mention illegal, for me to return to the store. K, I'll give you my card and everything. It's not that much stuff, but it's a cart full of groceries. M, I am not going in there to ring out some groceries. The building is on fire. At best, I can have the fire department retrieve any personal items. K, but I need those groceries. M, there is a different store, the next block over. I'm sure they have the groceries you need. K, but I already did my shopping here. There are frozen items. M, I'm sorry, but I am not going in the store while it's on fire. This went on much longer than it should have before Karen eventually huffed off. My manager explained multiple times that the store was on fire, but she just couldn't grasp the concept of how dangerous and stupid it was to demand we risk our lives for her groceries. Mind you, there was no mistaking that the store was definitely closed for the evening because of the fire. Fire trucks were all around, cops, ambulances, but there were still people driving by asking if we were open. For those wondering, our trash compactor caught fire. Turned out some teens thought that lighting garbage on fire was funny. They were caught, arrested, and charged with a felony. Fortunately, the fire was contained to the trash compactor. No product was lost. The building was not damaged save for the smell of smoke the next few days while it aired out. And most importantly, no one was injured. Thank you. Next. Wholesome story made my day. An older gentleman walked in, probably in his mid-70s, and handed me an envelope and said, "Please give this to the owner," and hurriedly walked out of the store. I called the owner, because he runs a repair business on the side, and often he tells clients to bring checks to drop off at his store while he is out on repair jobs, so I didn't think too much of the encounter. When I called he said he wasn't expecting anything, and asked me to open the envelope. There was a note inside that said, "In 1989 I was shopping at your other location, and noticed there was some leftover product behind the building that I thought the store was throwing away, so I took 15 pieces, but later found out that they were actually charging for them. Here is a check to cover the cost. Please get the money to the right person. TLDR. Nice older gentleman who is clearing his conscience for something he accidentally stole 31 years ago. Thank you." Next. Just read. Ironic TLDR. Lady doesn't want to read the sign, nor pay for her tea. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand these customers, the ones who stare at a sign, seemingly have some kind of brain cell between their ears and then turn to ask exactly what the sign answers. Did you not just read it? This story takes place a few months ago, prior to this whole Rona, during a popular holiday in my area. This holiday is very similar to Halloween with one exception. The customers love to print labels. I honestly don't know what they do with these labels, but they really need them right that second and no one orders them in advance or actually has any clue what they're doing. Which means a lot of repetitive explaining, pointing at signs, and frustrated and angry customers. The thing is, my printing center doesn't actually have any label paper for them to print on other than this very simple return address label which you have to order through our website. That's it. There's no magic system in our computers that can magically set up these labels to print perfectly on whatever sheet our customers find lying around their house. So if you want us to set up your design for you, that's a fee. Also it takes like 48 hours, which they never have since they need it right now. Also we only have 2 giant, industrial ready, laser printers. If a customer brings in paper that's meant to go into an inkjet printer, a more high quality photo-like printer, it will absolutely get demolished in that machine. It will and has broken our fuser in the machine, a $500 part. So no, I won't just try it when they demand that it's worked before in the past. You could be lying, and I won't stake $500 on it and be stuck with a broken machine until new parts come in. For all of these reasons, we had to post signs, multiple signs, which basically read, for any holiday label printing, 1. If we set up your file, you will be charged a minimum $25.00 design fee, plus the price of printing. Here is how to set up your file with labels bought from the retail part of the store. Insert instructions. 2. Your paper must say laser safe. You will deny any order that is placed with label papers that does not have the original packaging. 3. Turn times depend on how busy we are. You can pay an extra 30% to get your order faster. However, the P&M associate will determine when that is based upon current order queue. Regardless of the sign, the customers still ask the same questions. So a woman comes in with a USB in her hand. After waiting in a lengthy line, which I'm doing my best to serve as fast as possible, she's a bit huffy when it gets to her turn. Now I've already told the customers ahead of her to look at the sign regarding our labels before placing their own order. So, hopefully, when she comes up she will do the same. Nope. Label lady equals LL. Me equals me. LL. Jabs USB towards me. Cuz FCK me I guess. I have a picture on here I would like on 4x2 sticker paper. ME. Okay. Is your picture already set up to go on 4x2 label paper? LOL, I won't grab the USB stick until I know for sure she's going to place this order. I know from experience if I touch the damned thing, it's assumed I've accepted the job and won't charge for anything. LL. I want sticker paper, and no, you set it up for me. ME. While I'm saying this, I also gestured to our sign that's printed in a large format and mounted right in front of her face. Label paper is what we print on, and we charge an additional $25.00 fee for any setup we need to do. Also, we do not have 4x2 label paper behind the counter, but you can. LL. $25.00? That's absurd. You guys did it for me last time and set it up and everything. This is outrageous. Where does it say that? ME. Literally points to it on the sign. You mean last holiday? That was a year ago and the policies have changed recently. However, you can just go to this website here and LL. I never had to do anything like that. This is ridiculous. ME. Regardless, this is the policy now and I have no problem walking you through the steps on how to do it. You would just need to buy the paper from Mile. LL. And now I've got to buy the paper too? She puts her hands on her hips and glares at me. Me, you've always had to buy the label paper. At this point I'm just angry and probably not doing a good job at hiding it. Me. I interrupt her since I can tell she's just going to argue again with me. This sign will tell you how you need to set up your files. We are a print ready shop, as in you come in with your prints ready to go. If they are not already set up, we charge a fee for that. LL. I want a manager or someone who knows what they are doing. They didn't charge me for this last year. I don't deserve to pay this. So I call a manager over and they don't know anything about the printing department, so my manager turns to me and asks, "Manager, so, what's the policy this year?" Me. States exactly what I told her. Manager. Okay. Repeats exactly what I said to the customer. LL. Furiously tries to stammer out that it's ridiculous yada yada. Manager. Okay. So knowing our policy, would you still like to place this order or not? LL. Turns around and walks away. Thank you. Next. Hide a bottle. Where? Are you kidding? This happened my last week in retail. I was senior clerk in a liquor store. One Friday evening this young lady comes in and we couldn't help but notice her, because the heels were incredibly high, the jeans skin tight and the top barely covering her assets. At my age pretty girls are a perk of the job. At my age I remember chasing young women when I was that age, but now I can't remember what I wanted them for. I'm 3 times this girl's age. I saw her pick 1.75 liter of Svedka Swedish vodka and walk down the aisle. Like most retailers we do not allow merchandise in the restrooms, but the girl headed in with the vodka. I called the manager, female, and explained. She went to the ladies' room to announce that merchandise was not allowed in there. The girl doesn't respond and the door is locked. The manager comes up he registers to call police. I was told to wait outside the ladies' room. If the girl came out with the bottle, I was signal the manager so she could cancel the police. It might have been a simple mistake. A second later, the door opens and the girl comes out. I couldn't believe it. She had this large bottle of vodka stuffed into her skin-tight stretch denim jeans. I looked at her and politely told her that was not going to work and it would be best to go back in, fix her jeans and pay for the bottle to avoid the police. She stood there for a couple minutes to argue with me that she wasn't doing anything wrong. I was done. Was late. I looked her up and down and said, "Miss, there is barely enough room for you in those jeans. Please don't think I'm so old or stupid that I'm going to overlook the bottle of vodka stuffed in your jeans." She looked to the storefront and saw the police car pull up, and ran back into the ladies' room and locked the door. The 2 officers were great guys and huge. They knocked on the door and identified themselves as police and told her to come out, because she wouldn't like it if they forced the door to come in. She opened the door and almost fell on her face. She had guzzled 1/2 of 1.75 liter, half gallon of 80 proof vodka and was drunk off her butt. The officers cuffed her and half carried her out. The one officer went to hand me the vodka bottle. Since everything was on video, I reached into apron pocket for gloves. The cop looked at me and I said, "I know where it's been. I ain't touching that bottle without gloves." If I remember my youth, I bought a lot more booze for a girl that pretty, but to be dumb enough to think she'd stuff it inside a pair of skin-tight jeans and we wouldn't notice? How dumb are these fools? Thank you. Next. Customer bleeds on the floor. Scene. It's the middle of the day, and the grocery store is slammed with the noon rush. I am awaiting a customer who is taking 20 minutes to rummage around in her purse for the 5 cents that paper bags cost that isn't covered by food stamp benefits after completing her transaction. I make eye contact with the next woman in line who is respectfully keeping her distance while I finish up. Next lady has a full cart of groceries. Nickel lady continues to search for treasures long forgotten in her purse as a man carrying one lone bottle of salad dressing descends upon my conveyor belt with nary a care for social distancing. Next lady makes the universal WTF hand motion, having just been cut in line. I politely ask salad dressing man to relinquish his place to next lady, who is next. Next lady and salad dressing man settle amongst themselves that he may go first, which never happens. Red flag. Anyone? Nickel lady finally finds a nickel. She leaves. Salad dressing man lumbers up to the register to continue his ignorance is bliss philosophy on the topic social distancing. Salad dressing man pays with $5 cash. I hand him back his change, and notice that the pad of his thumb and forefinger have blood on them. Weird, maybe he picked a scab. Next lady has disappeared to the next line. I ask to go wash my hands, having just been in contact with trace amounts of blood, and my manager allows it without asking why. As I return a minute later to my register, I find the maintenance guy grabbing some paper towels and leaning down to clean up a nice trail of cranberry juice. How long has this been here? He asks, always taking any spot of disarray in the store is a personal affront. Oh number. My brain suddenly informs me with an imperfectly timed epiphany. That's not cranberry juice. The faintest trace of the sound end was all I managed before he had put the paper towel through the trail of red, splodging it across the tile in the way that only blood does. That's blood, I calmly tell him as we are still in the middle of the noon rush and there are customers everywhere. What? He asks, crumpling the paper towel and splodging it through for round 2. That's blood, I repeat, from the customer who just left. I didn't realize he was bleeding on the floor. The maintenance guy does a beautiful rendition of a minimum wage hell no and walks away to go get the Zamboni, and, I assume, dunk his hands in a bucket of bleach. I find the manager. Hey, what's the policy for cleaning up trails of human blood through checkout lines? I'm not asking hypothetically. My manager's eyes go wide. She calls the store manager. She calls the big wigs. They all gather around my register to witness the cleanup, and to pull my till and pore over the bills, trying to determine what to do with a till that has, literally, dirty money in it. TL. Doctor, figure out your plan for cleaning up human blood before the cashier asks. Thank you. Next. I give up. First post ever. Hope you all enjoy. Background. This happened about 6-7 years ago, so I don't remember all the details, like exact pricing and stuff. I used to work sales at a sporting goods store in Cali. We had some canopies on display because they were on sale. We had a 10x10 feet straight leg, a 10x10 feet slant leg and a 12x12 feet slant leg on display. The measurements are taken from the bottom of one leg to another. Important for this story. Cast me LWMHFG, lady who must have failed geometry, L for short. So, I get called to the canopy section because LWMHFG needs help. Me, hello mom, how can I help you? L, I wanted to buy a 10x10 feet canopy. Me, okay, did you want your canopy to have a lot of shade, or to be sturdy? L, sturdy. M, okay, I recommend the slant leg 10x10 feet. I pointed to it. L, but that one doesn't have much shade as the other. M, right. Because the legs are slanted to make it more sturdier. L. So then which one should I get? M. Well, if you want more shade get the straight leg. If you want more sturdy, get the slant leg. L. Why is that one called a 10x10 feet if it doesn't have as much shade on it than that one? M. Because the measurement is taken from the bottom, not the top. So, the slant, literally slanted my arms, is a 10x10 feet but has less shade. L. Well, what about that one? Pointing at the 12x12 feet slant leg. M. That is the 12x12 feet slant leg. It has a little more shade than the 10x10 feet slant leg and is just as sturdy. L. Why does it cost more than these two? Pointing at both 10x10 feet. M. Well, because it is bigger due to the bigger base, which gives you more shade as well. L. Okay, so which one do you think I should get? M. Again, it depends on if you want something more sturdy, or more shade. L. I want a 10x10 feet. M. Okay, which one? L. Which one is the best? M. I'm sorry mom, I think I need to get you a manager that can help you. At that point I walked away, told a manager that this lady needed more help than I could offer and went back to where the shoe section was.